USAA knows dynamic duos can save the day, like superheroes and sidekicks, or auto and home insurance. With USAA, you can bundle your auto and home and save up to 10%. Tap the banner to learn more and get a quote at USAA.com/bundle. Restrictions apply.
I had that dream again. My small business needs to hire, but I don't use LinkedIn, and I hire wrong. So then I'm doing IT, and when I go to plug the servers in, they become sentient, and they won't let us access our network unless we forward their chain emails and memes to more and more and more people, and then I wake up.
Don't let hiring nightmares ruin your dreams. LinkedIn Jobs' new AI assistant finds and invites best fit candidates to apply, so you can discover talent you may have missed. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/quality. Start hiring today with LinkedIn.
Well, the holidays have come and gone once again, but if you've forgotten to get that special someone in your life a gift, well, Mint Mobile is extending their holiday offer of half off unlimited wireless. So here's the idea. You get it now, you call it an early present for next year. What do you have to lose? Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Limited time 50% off regular price for new customers. Upfront payment required. $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds may slow after 50 gigabytes per month when network is busy. See terms.
Welcome to No Question About That. On today's show, we're talking Europa League draw, bracket view, as we're now calling it. I'm Ed with Dominic today. Are you getting used to brackets in European sport?
Can't get used to bracketing. It's not for me, bracket, but let's do it anyway. You know, let's accept the influence of our American cousins, eh?
Yeah, well, it very much feels like it. We're talking about Solskjaer today. I can't help myself. Every time I think about Americans and football, I'm not trying to be disrespectful here. I can't help think about the Mary Whitehouse Experience sketch where they were talking about the USA World Cup 94. That is, maybe aging myself here. But yes, we had to get used to the Europa League group phase league stage. And now we're getting used to the Europa League bracket view, because it's all seeding. United have Real Sociedad, a familiar opponent in the next round. But we also know who our opponent should be or could be in the last 8 and the semi-finals as well, which is brand new for European competitions. What's your immediate reaction to the draw?
It could have been Sociedad or Alkmaar. Am I right in saying it was
correct,
sort of preset? I think that's the more difficult of those two, without a doubt. Because I think Alkmaar are 5th in the Eredivisie, and Eredivisie is probably stronger than it has been actually in recent years. I think two of their sides in the Champions League last 16, which is fairly unusual, I think, for recent years. Mm-hmm. And United have got some history of walloping Alkmaar, whereas I think they have some history of struggling a little bit against Sociedad, apart from a big 4-0 win under Oli, I seem to remember, away from home.
COVID football, that was, wasn't it? It was in Turin or something like that, I think.
Oh, yeah, it wasn't even, I was going to say in Sociedad,
venue,
which is the absolute cardinal sin. You can never say in Sociedad. San Sebastian, honestly.
One of the most beautiful cities, I feel like I've said this every time we play them, which is a few times in recent years, one of the most beautiful cities in Europe.
It is great.
A stunning place, fantastic for the Reds going over there. I mean, the stadium's not loads to talk about, but the actual cities are amazing. So, yeah, it's a tough draw. I mean, they're having a mixed bag of a much less successful season than they were last season. They're mid-table in La Liga. It's pretty inconsistent. They're winning about as many games as they lose. There's obviously some challenges at Sociedad right now, at La Real right now.
I was going to say, to have a record where you win about as many as you lose. I mean, United would kill for such a record.
Ruben Amorim getting up to a 50% win rate would be amazing. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely one of the tougher draws we could have got. I can't tell whether this is the easy side or the tough side of the draw, really. I mean, we could end up with Lyon in the next round and Roma in the semi-finals. That might look like the pathway. That's probably getting ahead of ourselves given our current records.
Yeah, I think it's the slightly easier side, because I think that Lazio were the best team in the group phase and are in it. Yeah, they're doing pretty well. And then you've got, I think, Frankfurt look quite strong, and Spurs have done well in the tournament. Spurs probably a team United want to avoid, given that they've lost 3 times to them this season, which is absolutely mental in itself. But United would quite like the look of FCSB or Lyon, I think, in the next round if they got through this tie.
Yeah.
Neither of them look particularly strong. I know Roma, or maybe a bit of a Mourinho-Fenerbahce reunion round 2 could be lurking further down the line. But again, let's not get ahead of ourselves because United, you just don't know what they're going to do against any team. I said to my wife, talking about the Everton game, I said United could be playing local village teams under 13s and it would be a close game on recent form that literally would play down to the level of any opponent. So
yeah,
that's just the fact of it.
Yeah, that is the challenge, of course, but the price is huge. When I see people online especially go, hey, just right off the season, play the kids, I'm like, well, one, it's nearly £4 million a place in the Premier League. Matters quite a lot when you're firing people to save a few million here or there, or doubling ticket prices in order to get that much money. So that really matters. And the Europa League is a backdoor into the Champions League. Getting the Champions League and the Champions League revenue and status accelerates the Ruben Amorim project by a year, at least, right? So the price is huge here. It really does matter. I would be looking at this draw like a hawk and analysing every single piece right now because it's the only thing that matters. Like if United finish 17th, but get into the Champions League, it's almost worth the trade-off. I mean, I don't know. If it was like you could finish 6th and not, that's like, it's a little harder calculation, but we're nowhere near there at the moment. So this is like the season here wrapped up in this tournament, I think. Yeah. And so, yeah, that's why you look at Sociedad and you go, wow, a difficult draw. And you're looking through to the FCSB. Obviously, we've beaten already. Lyon in loads of trouble financially. I mean, the French leagues want to relegate them because John Textor was not paying the bills. Basically, Crystal Palace partial owner, his Eagle Football Group.
It was going to be only Everton potentially at one point.
He tried, it floated, but he'd have had to sell his shares in Crystal Palace, and that's a group that is Lyon, Crystal Palace, Botafogo, and some others. I forget exactly.
You draw them randomly out of a hat for these multi-club ownership models sometimes. It really just feel completely random who is associated with each other.
It really does. You could ask ChatGPT, hey, make me up a fake European multi-club ownership group. And it was like, oh, yes, FCSB. They're also twinned with AZ Alkmaar and HJK Helsinki and Young Boys. And you're like, yeah, all right. Yeah, makes sense.
I know. But I think the thing about the Europa League is that the standard is low. The standard is really low, and you see that with how United and Spurs did in the group phase. I mean, United the only unbeaten team in Europe in European competitions this season. I mean, how mad is that?
How's it possible? Yeah,
they played some semi-decent stuff at times in Europe. I think that, especially performances under Amorim, they've been the ones that have given me the most hope and optimism. Victoria Pilsen away, I thought was pretty good. Bodo Glimt at home, United should have won by way more. So these kind of opponents, I think United are semi well set up to beat. It's just as it goes deeper and deeper, you are going to get a performance out of one of these teams at some point. Someone is going to make it really difficult for United in the way that Premier League teams do.
Yeah,
it's just that there is that half a second more on the ball, I feel, against some of these sides, and I think the failings or the ill-fitting system that Amorim's trying to implement, it doesn't seem to matter so much.
Yeah.
Individual moments of brilliance can force United into the lead against sides. So it's going to be interesting. This tie is tougher than it might have been, but there is a route ahead, I think. And like you say, the riches, not only financially, but from a footballing point of view of winning this tournament, it would change the whole complexion of the club at the moment.
Oh my God, so much. I mean, it's given the finances that we saw in the Q1 report, just came out a couple of days ago, and how perilously close United. I mean, United, without, I don't want to be hyperbolic here, but without Jim Ratcliffe's latest cash injection, might have actually ran out of money. Like, we'd have to be borrowing. I mean, there is a line of credit, right? So it wasn't a case of couldn't pay the bills, keep the lights on, or pay Anthony's wages or whatever. But yeah, might have actually run out of cash. Would have been down to 15 million in cash, but for that that injection. So winning the Europa League, completely transformational to where we are, means an extra player, means a player not sold, means a bit of breathing room, means some jobs not cut, all of these kind of things, which is like, it's a really sad state of affairs that we're even talking like this. It's absolutely criminal that this was ever allowed. It all dates back to the takeover in 2005. Of course, that's a whole different pod, but just it, like, the stakes are really, really high for United, and the opportunities there as well. Because I think, as you say, I mean, it's for a couple of different reasons. Like the gap between the Premier League and the Champions League. I mean, I think if you look at the ELO ratings, the Premier League is still rated higher in terms of like quality, but like you can see, it's really high quality, and the top echelon of the Champions League is higher than the top echelon of the Premier League, but like ultra competitive. The drop off, because you have 5 teams from all the top leagues, or 4 from the next block in the Champions League, you're then down to, in theory, the 36th best team onwards in Europa League. It's actually much, much worse than that, obviously. And so you've got really high standard Premier League, a drop off in the second tier European competition. That's why you have this big gap. I mean, the truth is, right, there's so much money in the Premier League, and it's so far ahead of everyone else that Bournemouth can outbid AC Milan for players. That happened last summer.
And Bournemouth would do very, very well if they were in the Europa League.
Yeah, of course. Well. I mean, they're very well set up for it as well, but in terms of playing style and all of that. But yes, they would do well. And we've actually seen quite a few English teams do pretty well in even West Ham got to it was Conference League, wasn't it?
I mean, you can go far as back as the noughties, and Fulham and Middlesbrough getting to the final of, I don't know if it was the Europa League or was it the UEFA Cup back then, but English teams with healthy budgets do well in this competition because
if they take it seriously,
it's the champions of farmers leagues that they're coming up against most of the time. And I hate that I just use that phrase, farmers league, but there you go.
You have, yeah. So yeah, for sure, the price is there, the pathway is there. Get past this one, which I think there's absolutely no guarantee. I mean, this is not Real Sociedad of a couple of years ago, when we had those two. We had it was the 1-0 and the 1-0, wasn't it, in the group stage a couple of years ago? I think that was Alejandro Garnacho's first goal for the club in that 1-0.
The away game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was actually a pretty good performance from United, I seem to remember. Yeah. I think the bad thing about these ties is that they are quite soon upon us, and given the number of injuries United have and the limited options, especially in forward positions, United aren't going to probably have some of their big players back. I mean, Mainu would probably be touch and go for around then. Ahmad is definitely out for a long time. Who the hell knows about Luke Shaw and Mason Mount? I mean, do they still exist?
They exist as lines on our P&L, but that's about it. They're not as footballers.
No, I was at the press conference today, and Amorim was updating on a few people's injuries, and it felt odd that he mentioned them, and I had to include them in my piece, but it was almost like, oh, and by the way, these two are still out. Put that at the bottom of every United article that's written at the moment.
Just tell us when they're back, and we'll forget about them until then. Yeah, I mean, absolutely, and that's the downside of this. Suddenly we've got this rash of injuries that don't seem to be systemic. I mean, we'll find out in the fullness of time. I think the way Ten Hag trained and the playing intensity was directly linked to the number of injuries. I think a lot of people have come out and kind of that's the narrative we now believe. These seem to be unlucky, and there was apparently no contact on Ahmad. He just went down. I mean, maybe it's a factor of how many minutes he's played. Who knows, right? Maybe just his body breaks down now and again. It has done historically in his career. A few muscle injuries and hamstring twangs and all that kind of stuff. So it doesn't seem to be systemic, but it's really badly timed. Just as we were thinking, right, like 21 games into Amorim, should be about now that we're starting to learn what this is and the players getting more used to it. I was looking forward to the spring when there'd be an uptick in results as a result and all of that. And then along comes this, wipes out our best player this season and a few others. And it's, feel like you're back to square one a little bit. A really thin squad, obviously. 8 teenagers on the bench the other day, of whom Amorim clearly doesn't trust yet, because he didn't deploy any of them, or Chiyobi right at the end. And so, down to the bare bones, but just this massive opportunity that that we can't forget. Have to be laser focused on it. Saying that in 2 weeks' time, I think it's like two and a bit weeks' time, isn't it?
Yeah, 6th of March and 13th. Yeah,
yeah, and then it's early April, and then or mid-April, and early May for the semi-final. Round about then as the cadence.
Even if we don't get the players back, though, I do feel like there are some players that are suited to the Europa League. Rasmus Højlund is the big one. It just seems to save all his good performances for European football. And I love it if someone did a deep analysis on why that is. His goal scoring record in Europe, United, is so much better per goals per 90 than it is in the Premier League. And is that just because defences are softer? Does he get more space? I would love to look deep into it. What's clear is that United have that proven goal scorer in the competition, and that's worth a heck of a lot. And even people like Eriksen, he seems to play well in these games, and that is again slightly slower pace, slightly more time on the ball. His passing range is really, really good and really dangerous against poorer sides. Put him a level down, he would just absolutely dominate Christian Eriksen. Still, we know that his legs have slightly deserted him, but it does feel like individuals in the United squad, like in general Amorim's system, suited to the Europa League. Definitely. Yeah,
and the results kind of prove that one out. Rasmus Højlund, maybe he's not coming up against the mighty physical presence that he does in the Premier League each week in terms of defence. Maybe there's just a half a yard more space. Maybe the game's a bit slower and more technical and encourages him to do some actual running into the channels, which we know he can do, and he's just seemed to have forgotten to do. So, yeah, maybe Eriksen will be kind of important for the end of the season, given how thin our midfield is at the moment.
Yeah, has to be.
Yeah, I mean, he'll have to be, yeah. And someone has to be able to progress the ball out of midfield, and in some of these games, he may be quite important in doing that. United have had a real trouble doing that. Manuel Ugarte is going to have to stay fit. Otherwise, we're going to have a lot of Casemiro and Bruno in central midfield, and basically asking Bruno to do the defensive role because Casemiro can't anymore, doesn't have the legs for it. But maybe he comes into his own in these games because it's slightly slower pace. I don't think it's that slower, but it's less intense than the Premier League for sure.
United have to be more physical in general, don't they? And Bruno was playing two roles against Spurs. He was playing as a central midfielder and a right winger at the same time. Yeah. And that's not how you get a good physical performance out of your team, by asking basically Xerxes to do less work, except Xerxes had a quite good game at Spurs on the ball. He's not very good off the ball. Bruno playing two roles, and then Casemiro, who can't run anymore, trying to cover a midfield. It was like return to the chaos ball Ten Hag days, wasn't it? And United aren't going to progress in Europe playing like that. That is the one way that they will slip up, like they did under Ten Hag in Europe.
Yeah, Sociedad, they haven't conceded loads and loads of goals this season, right? It's lack of goals has been their problem, and which is good, I guess United's problem as well. Although we managed to come up with really dumb ways to concede goals on the weekly, so there's that. But yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting to see. Like, they kept some of their top players as well. Right, Sociedad, so Oyarzabal, who's caused those problems in the past, is still there. Zubimendi didn't move on. There were a lot of teams looking at him. Obviously, they kind of priced him out of a move to Liverpool and Arsenal. Maybe were both linked with him. He's a very good technical player. One of those ones you'd wonder how well he would do in the Premier League. Like, he's not super physical, but then again, Manuel Ugarte runs around each week kicking people. Seems to enjoy that.
He could kick a few people in the Europa as well. He has got that ability to run around that no one else in the United midfield pretty much does. So I'm just looking at the odds for the Europa League, the outright winner, saying that United are one of the favourites, but actually third favourites. Spurs are favourites with almost every single bookmaker to win the thing, which, I mean, what sort of world are we living in where Spurs are the favourites to win a tournament? I don't quite know what to do with that information. But Sociedad are the fifth favourites. So it's United, Athletic Bilbao, just after Spurs, and then Lazio and Real Sociedad. So that would suggest that, A, Ange could get that famed second season trophy, and B, United have got probably one of the tougher draws that they could have got.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, who's that Athletic got in the next round? I was just looking over here, and I'm looking at the wrong side of the bracket to work this one out.
I've just gone away from it as well. Athletic Bilbao, they're on the United side of the draw against Roma, so potential semi-final opponents if United get that far.
We've, of course, historically had some challenges with Athletic Bilbao, smashed us more than one occasion.
That was one of the most bizarre Fergie era memories from. We literally did not lay a glove on them in 2 games. We thought we were way above the Europa League at that point, and what the hell are we doing in this competition? And we'll just steamroll our way to the final. And then came up against Bielsa, who just did an absolute tactical number on Fergie, didn't it?
Yeah.
That was really strange. Nowadays that happens all the time, but back then that was something to behold. Yeah,
exactly. You get used to it. Eventually, losing every week.
Yeah,
the prize is there for United. There's real opportunity. Difficult draw, but it's a competition of mediocre teams. I mean, frankly, right? I mean, occasionally you'll get the alignment of a team on the up that just happens to be in this competition. I'm not sure that's really true. Lazio are really not on the up in Serie A, at least. I mean, they were the best team in the group stage of this tournament. But I feel like it's a very open tournament with a lot of opportunities.
Let's feel positive about it. Why not?
Yeah, you should look at this and go, yeah. The negative is, of course, the uptick in results have not come for United yet under Amorim, and injuries have hit just at the wrong time, which is a bummer.
You know, Amorim said there would be a storm coming, and we're now in the eye of that storm. When does that storm finish? That is what we're all waiting to
It's
see,
the big red spot on Jupiter, isn't it? It's been raging for 350 years. So the storm has been going since May 2013. And we just have different levels of the storm. We were slightly in the eye under Ollie for a little bit, but apart from that, it's chaos all around.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Well, that's our initial reaction to Europa League draw. Everton at the weekend. Hard to say what to make of that one exactly. Back to last time at Goodison Park, one of the famous old grounds, one of the few left of traditional old British grounds under a resurgent Everton under David Moyes. No more Grim Reaper at Goodison Park anymore. You remember him? Came out for the first Moyes game back just the week before he got sacked as United manager. Everyone loves him now. He's 13 points from a possible 15. They're now ahead of United in the Premier League.
Everyone has a better time once they've left United. We all know that.
Yes, everyone grows. Yeah. Even Marcus Rashford is playing well. He hasn't scored a goal or got an assist for Villa yet, but he's had some positive cameos. Anthony is the best player in La Liga right now.
No, I can't go that far yet. Let's wait on.
Does not compute.
Yeah, let's not fire too soon on that one, because he did score, I think, 3 goals in his first three United appearances, didn't he? Way back when. So yes. Let's wait. Everton, though, Alejandro, if you could just spin around and overhead kick one from 20 yards in the first couple of minutes again, please, that would be ideal.
Would be very, very helpful. Yeah, he's going to be an important player. We weren't sure of his role in this United team, but he's starting to be a regular pick now under Amorim.
Just needs to finish.
He needs to be able to finish. I think his rate is down at like 11% or something like that. Chance to conversion. So not awesome from Alejandro there, but he's really important because he's the one player, especially with Ahmad gone, that he's going to be providing sort of cut and thrust, the direct running, the directness to take players out of the game, moments of brilliance. So yeah, another one of those at Everton would be very, very helpful. Thank you very much.
We'll see.
All right, we'll leave it there. Dominic, great to talk to you again.
Thank you very much, Ed. A pleasure as always.
Listeners, viewers, wherever you are, enjoy the game at the weekend. There is hope. It's called the Europa League. Bye now.